I'm Howard T. Cash, and I'm one of the founders of the Pat Museum.
I'm Donna Marie, and I'm one of the founders of the Pat Museum. I met Howard at the Brooklyn Museum during a talk with Jamel Shabazz, who was giving a talk on his photography, great work. And Jamel introduced me to Howard, and from then I asked Howard, how could I help and support with whatever he was doing? He told me something, and I started writing for a project for him. And then we started talking about our visions. He gave me an idea of his vision, which you can talk about, and then I told him some of my vision, and we were like, wait a minute. So
we took a trip down to Philadelphia to see this writer, Tashi Coates. And we spent the day together talking and eating and walking around in that area. We got to know each other. And that was when the familiarity really began for me. Because I saw her to be a very sturdy warrior woman, and fun to be with, very pleasant. So that to me is important, because if you're going to work with somebody, they should be pleasant. Because it's not like pulling teeth, it should be. There are challenges, but you figure out how to get over those challenges.
So my background, I got a scholarship for dance when I think it was 6 years old. I was in elementary school. And from then I was trained as a professional dancer. So I was dancing off Broadway throughout my, growing up years. And so I was immersed in the world of performing arts, actors, singers, dancers, like we were all together. And so that was a huge part of my life where I recognized how much healing happens within those spaces, but then also when I had the vision for the community center, I said, what is missing from communities? And I said, the structure of family, the structure of healing. Like usually when a student is going through something, it starts at home. And so for me, I resolved to, at first it was gonna become a youth pastor, but then I went into psychology. I wanted to learn family psych, and that was my background. So using that, going into the wellness piece, that was always going to be the center of the museum, is the center of the museum. Wellness is the center of the museum because we cannot build strong communities if we do not have strong families. We cannot create and build and encourage strong students if they feel like they don't have family. So we want to build the museum as a place for wellness, for safety, and all that.
I used to teach at the Bronx High School for Visual Arts. And I noticed that when school was over, the kids didn't want to leave. And that something to me was like, wow, because they just, they felt that there was more they wanted to get out of school than what they could get at home. 2003, 2004, 2005. But I didn't begin to write the piece until I think it was 2011.
The proposal.
Proposal, yeah. And so one day I just sent it to Donna, and she said, wow, this is something I was thinking about since I was a little girl.
I was 16, I wasn't that little. So funny enough, the same way he had the teacher aspect, I had the student aspect. So when I was in high school, I was a part of this performing arts program that we stayed after school. And it was a competition between the grades, and we would put on this play, and the students were challenged and auditioned to direct, to write, to act, to sew, to set design, literally every music design, lighting, every single part that you could think about to put on this performance, and how much aspects weren't performing, right? There were the writers, there were the architects, there were all these different elements that had nothing to do with performing. And we all came together as a student body excited, and we would stay hours and hours after school just excited about coming together and like, we're gonna beat the seniors, or we're gonna beat the juniors, or whatever grade you were in, right? And by the end of the year, when we put on this play, it was like this magnificent thing that we were all just like, oh, like even if we didn't win, it was just amazing. Every single play after play after play, you stay for the whole night. And it was something that I will never forget. It was so impactful for me that I remember thinking like, wow, what if this was not just in high school, right? What if there was a community, a place where the students can come and stay out of trouble and like build together, learn discipline, learn team building, right? And what if it just wasn't just about the play? And so Howard, we were talking about, he gave me his proposal. I gave him my proposal, which was written in 2001, right? And we kind of went back and forth and shared, and then we put them together and we said, let's make this a museum, right? How do we bring in not just for the community, but the aspect of what's needed, which is tourism for the city, which is like other people also seeing what Black and brown people don't usually get, which is to be highlighted, right? So having a space for us also, which it just won't be for us, it's for everyone in the community, but it will be from us and by us, which is the difference.
Well, one of the things we're doing is right now we've established this wonderful exhibit. It's our first exhibit in Harlem. And the idea is that from here, we spoke to a few people, but we're gonna have to start fundraising in order to be able to start building the building or acquiring a building. So that's one of the things we need to do. So if people want to talk to us about that, we're open to talk to them about that on many different levels.
One of the things that we're definitely going to need is people who believe in the power of the community, who want to bring healing to their communities, who believe in themselves, but more importantly, believe in the collective. And so we need them to go to the QR code, scan the code, sign up to volunteer, sign up to give donations, sign up to find out more information. So go to the QR code, go to the website, and sign up. That's the first thing we need people to do. Stay in touch with us, be in community with us, find out the next exhibit, come out, bring your people, or volunteer to lead a workshop, to have your art displayed, stay in touch with us.
It's not just this community, many of our communities around the country need a patent museum, need a place for where the community can interact with growth and development. The patent museum will be a museum that will interact with the community. It just won't be a place where you can come and look at work and say that's nice and leave. There'll be projects and programs for all the people in the community. And they're geared more towards helping people develop their skills, letting artists expand their mental reach, their artistic reach. And so the beauty of it is that it will all be, it's the village aspect of how we see the world as Black and brown people.
I think right now we see more than ever the need and the void of what it really looks like to build with community. So I think the need for strong community-centered programming and hubs are huge. It's something that people are looking for, especially after the pandemic and after COVID. People were inside for so long and saw the value of actually coming together. It's like, the saying, when something gets taken away, you value it that much more. So in a time now where people feel threatened, healthcare, and just different things, it's like, well, how do we come together and unite, not just for the sake of protesting, but for the sake of joy, right? People need joy right now, so having a hub that allows people to come together, to sharpen their skills, to learn, to grow, to have development, but also a place of joy that they don't have to worry is going to be stripped from them because it's built by them.
It's a place where people can come and see different aspects of how they want to grow, how they want to develop, meet new people that are doing the same thing. It's always said that you determine your life a lot of times by the people that are surround you. And so if you have people around you that are doing extraordinary things or are about to do extraordinary things, or at least in concept want to do extraordinary things, then it gives you a window to be able to do extraordinary things.
First time curating an art show, and it means a lot. Thank you. It means a lot. I want to shout out a couple of people, but first my dad, because he's my dad, and I want to be here without him. Yeah. And my mom, she's not here. I also want to thank, is Azim here? I want to thank Azim Thomas, who is an amazing photographer over here, because if it wasn't for him, I would not be here in terms of, he kind of catapulted me in the world of photography, in the world of like other artists, and like pushing me in a way that I did not have before, so I want to thank you. I also want to thank Howard T. Cash, who was here. Yes.
Shout outs.
Howard is helping me with, if you all noticed, on the flyer, there's an organization called the Pat Museum. The Pat Museum is a vision that was birthed in me when I was 16 years old. I was introduced by Howard because of a connection that Azim made. Everyone in this room is here because of the connection and the spark that happened. Howard and I are working on building a museum. And the idea of the museum is photography, arts, and technology. We need, for our community, a museum that archives our history, a museum that others cannot tamper with because it is our museum. And when I say our, I don't mean our as in just the people in this room. I mean our as in the generations to come. And I mean ours as in it takes a village and it takes a community to bring success. We live in an age where everyone has an individualistic mindset. But I would not be here today if it wasn't for each and every single artist that said yes to be in this room. I would not be here if it wasn't for each and every artist who poured into me and encouraged me to see a vision through. It takes a village. It takes a community. If there's anyone here that has an idea that you've been sitting on, I want you to know to connect with the people in this room because it takes a village. The idea of the Pat Museum is one that was birthed in me because I grew up in the performing arts. I was a dancer, I had a full scholarship, I was dancing on Broadway and all of that. And it was an amazing experience for me. And when I left the dance company, I went to a public school who had a program based on performing arts. And they trained the kids to direct, to act, to do everything in order to put on these plays. We had to do everything from the costumes to the set design, everything. And I never experienced anything in my life than coming together with students and a community to put on a project. It taught me teamwork. It taught me discipline. It gave me excitement. It was a competition, so we were competing with all the other grades to do this thing. And when I realized there was such power in community and bringing students together, I said, what if we had a community, a place of communion where it wasn't just performing, but we can show artwork, we can show photography, we can actually build this day and age technology, we can have computer labs, we can house everything that the community needs to thrive, to train up the people in the community, and give them economic access to build wealth in that community. This is the vision of the Pat Museum. This is why you are here, whether you knew it or not.
richness of it all. I love to pull references from the timeline and the experiences that is Black in the entire system that is America and beyond. And so taking those pieces and those references and figuring out ways to concept and like create work that represents us and represents the stories that we've told and are telling. That's what I feel inspiration on consistently.
I feel super grateful. It feels kind of surreal as well because I think like a lot of artists, it's so easy to sit on your work or wonder, is this good enough? Or will people, and you know, your things that you make may not be for everyone, but there's somebody out there, there's people out there waiting for you to tell your story, you're reflecting somebody's experience and somebody's prayer or desire or pain. So yeah, I'm just grateful to have it out in the world and like not in the closet or on a hard drive somewhere. So
I try to bring awareness to what artists are doing, other photographers, because that's important. And I'm a believer that unfortunately the mainstream media doesn't cover half the stuff that we need to have covered. Probably not even 3/4 of it. So it's our job as videographers, YouTube channel, podcasters, to celebrate the artists that are in our communities and giving them the footage, taking pictures, so that they can get their work out into the world.
This piece means a lot to me. I do mixed media, so I do a digital media and then I draw on it, and I do collages as well. This is called the Harlem piece, dedicated Harlem piece. And so with this piece, with the What If piece, I went to the World Photography Day with famous photographer Jamal Sabas, and that was the first time I really picked up my camera and was like, you know what, I'm gonna take some photos today, right? I wanted to get inspired, and my friend was like, yo, come out and do it. So I did it, and we went to the side and we actually took this photo, fist together, and this is just unity to me. This is just Black power, just togetherness, strength, and with everything in the background that I added our history coming up. You know what I mean? Coming from sharecroppers in the South, going to the Cotton Club to finally be able to display our talent, those musical talents that we had. The future of music and Black music, doing DJing and stuff like that. And I actually used Kendrick Lamar's album cover, Pimp a Butterfly. I feel like this was a great piece, this little piece in the side as well that I added. Because in the album he talks about, you know what I mean, as a caterpillar, you're growing up in the hood, you're going through all these things, you know what I mean, and the butterfly, they look at the butterfly as the talent, you know what I mean, and this is something that they marvel at. They don't really look at the caterpillar and see how much he has to go through and crawl through the mud, and you know what I mean, he talks about to pimp the butterfly, you know what I mean, so I even added it to show that we are still in this race, we're still working towards things, we're still uncovering ourselves, we're still flying, so that's the power behind what it is.
Thanks everybody for coming. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for spending some time with us.
Yes.
And we're going to take the responsibility of you helping us, of you being around us, and you supporting us, and we're going to make it right.
Yes. This is not a museum for you. This is a museum by you. Mm-hmm. This is about us. We together are going to make this happen for not just our generation, but for the generations to come. So thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for taking the mantle, and look forward to building with you.
You did good, girl.
Hey.